Virgil Quiche couldn't be busier, and he is grateful because a few years back, things were very different.
For the first time in my life, I experienced being laid off, going home and telling my wife, you know, this is it.
The electric car maker he worked at in Southern California shut down, and he was out of a job.
It was depressing.
Until a Chinese investor bought it, rebranded it, and gave it that new jolt of power.
Gave me a chance to come back and kind of finish what we started.
Karma is an all-American company saved by Chinese cash, literally bringing people into work, says the boss.
Arguably, there's 700 people here, close to 800 working that might not have if this particular Chinese businessman had decided not to invest in the auto space in the United States.
Of course, the other side of this argument.
We're not making things anymore, relatively speaking. Our product is pouring in from China.
But that pouring in, as the now president-elect calls it, or indeed pouring out, stuff going the other way, is having a major beneficial effect here in California, starting over there. LA's port has never been busier. This is the country's largest port, and more than half of those containers come from, yep, China. 6 out of every 10 containers arriving here come from there. In fact, last year, some 32,000 employees were involved in offloading and processing them. Those are people who are in jobs, who are paying taxes, and that is keeping this whole economic cycle spinning around.
China is the #1 customer of the port, and this has been true for a couple of decades. They've become our #1 trading partner, and really their growth has helped us to become the port we are today.
In fact, last year, Chinese investors injected a record $15.7 billion into US companies. And California got 21% of that. That is more than a fifth to just one state. China's trade with LA alone, nearly 27% of the total trade with the US.
If we continue supporting the relationship between China and the US, there will be trade-offs, of course. But if we don't support it, definitely there will be less wealth.
For the workers, like Virgil, that Chinese cash, the wealth, has been a godsend.
It's given me the opportunity to support my family, my kids.
And while not all in the US will agree, there are plenty in California at least who certainly will. Lavelle, CCTV, Los Angeles.